Hey guys, I was going to give a quick intro to my channel and what I'm going to kind of try to do here. And before we get into the super monk mode challenge that I'm going to be taking on if anyone else wants to take part of it. So basically my channel, what I'm going to try to do here is kind of focus on like self-improvement and also kind of like minimalism, which go together a lot in this world of excess where every society is just really structured to make us anxious, where we always want more. We want the newest car, we want the newest iPhone, all these things, and then we're just presented with all these addictions, and then we end up just sitting down too much in our job and in our life. We got to watch the new TV show, we got to drive in our new car, we got to sit and work for 8 to 10 hours, and it just wrecks our bodies, with all this mix of lack of exercise and healthy food and addictions on the internet. It really just messes with our minds and our bodies. So as time goes on, I'm going to basically be going through videos on kind of challenges for myself and things I've learned if anyone else wants to take part of that. And if you have your own experiences, feel free to share. So the first thing, we're going to start off with a bang. The thing I'm going to be taking on here is what I'm kind of calling a super monk mode challenge, which is going to be 30 days straight of mass calisthenics and kind of like mental cleansing of sorts. So what's going to happen is I'm going to lay it out and then I'll take kind of the specific exercises. So it's going to be a spree of calisthenics that you can tailor to your own specific level. And then there's going to be some meditation and then some refraining from things, including like no sex and masturbation. I know a lot of guys have a hard time with that, and I'm going to devote videos to that entire thing before, as time goes on. So the entire challenge is going to be, I'm going for a pretty high level, so you could go for like an intermediate or a lower level. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going for 500 push-ups a day, um, like kind of, so that's going to be the pushing exercise. There's going to be a pulling type exercise, which is going to be pull-ups or inverted rows. That's going to be about 50 to 100 a day. There's going to be ab exercises, which I'm going to be doing planks or side planks, and then a leg type exercise, which is either going to be like body weight squats or single leg deadlifts, or a type of like glute activation, which is really important because we sit so much that our glutes become inactive, and we need that kind of thing just to wake them back up. And then, so on top of that, there's also going to be a cardio aspect to it too, which is going to be a mile run every day, or that can be broken up into like 10 100-yard sprints. And again too, so this is the level I'm taking on. If you've never done anything like this before, back way off. So say go for like 200 push-ups a day if you have like a moderate level of fitness, or maybe even 50 push-ups a day, and then this can be broken up. So I'm going for 500, so I'm going to do 10 sets of 50 throughout the day, and I do all these exercises in one set, so that counts as one, and then maybe an hour later do it again, and it just kind of really keeps your body active. I've done this sort of thing before, and it gets pretty hard. About week 3 your body really starts aching, but then you kind of push through. It's amazing how kind of strong and like jacked and focused you are. So that's the physical aspect. Another thing I'm taking on that you can or can drop is I may be taking cold showers only. Cold showers have a lot of benefits. I'll talk about those some other time. So it's going to be a month of cold showers. And the last thing is no sex or masturbation at all for a month straight. And this is another important part of like cleansing the mind, of like, when I know I'm shutting that down, I'm not going to be driven towards trying to hook up with some girl or go find a girlfriend, or like, oh, how come so and so hasn't texted me back yet. All that's just going to be gone, because the entire point of what I'm doing here is trying to make myself better. And by dropping that kind of aspect, especially tying it with these physical things, it makes the entire thing easier to handle. And a month, I know for some of these guys, for some of you guys out there, is a really long time. I get that. So just start with like a week. Try to do like a week of this and see how that goes for you. When you know somebody else is taking it on, it makes it a lot easier, because you kind of become committed. You become committed that like you're not just letting yourself down, you're letting other people down. So the So that's kind of the overview of the challenge here. I'm gonna run through the, that's my dog, as you may see. I'm gonna run through it. I got 3 more sets for the day, so I'm just gonna move the camera around and show you just kind of how I do a typical set. Oh yeah, the last thing one more thing too. Each of the physical sets also has like a stretching component. The stretching component is pretty open to whatever you need to be stretched. Typically, if we sit too much, it's going to be our hips, you know, some aspect of our calves or our back. So anything along those lines. And then the last thing too is 10 minutes of meditation. And for some people that seems way too short, and for some it seems pretty long. So it's an important thing to just try it and do it. And by establishing like a regularity, my hope is I'm just really going to get into a good zone, and a month later I'll look back and be like, wow, I'm really glad I did that. So before I get into the exercises, just a quick recap of what the Super Monk Mode Challenge is it's going to be a whole bunch of pushing exercises, a whole bunch of pulling exercises, abs, legs, running, cold showers, and meditation every day. Oh, and complete abstinence. So that's the challenge. I'm going to show you guys a set or two of the exercises. So first up is push-ups, and the key thing with these is for the most part there's not much variation at this point. I'm going to be engaging in. I'm just going to do standard push-ups at first, and the only other real alternative I'm allowing myself right now is scap push-ups, which are pretty good for sitting too much. I'll show those in a second. So let me slam my 50 out here. Alright, so that's the pushing aspect of one set. So the pulling aspect is ideally pull-ups or inverted rows. What I mean by inverted rows is something, this isn't the best spot, but you have your feet up typically with like rings, and then do like this kind of thing. These are a lot harder, so I'm going for 10 per set. All right, next up is the plank. And I was never a big plank guy, so this is kind of an experiment myself. I used to do a lot of sit-ups, but supposedly sit-ups are bad for you. So I'm going mass plank, and I'll report back in a month how it works. So planks are pretty weird. I'm certainly not an expert on them, just I heard that generally you want to keep your like butt, upper back, and head all together. And I find kind of like bracing my stomach as if I'm about to be punched helps, and kind of flexing that butt. You want to go for about 30 seconds. I don't have a watch, so all right, hopefully that was long enough. Okay, and then the last thing to do for legs is I'm kind of allowing myself 3 different variations. I can either do body weight squats, and again, a lot of this I'm tailoring towards people who sit too much, because I have a tendency, just in some of the things I do, to sit a lot, and it has certain really bad effects on our bodies. So like when doing body squats, you want to make sure your knees point out, because the tendency is to cave in. So I have the body weight option, which you go for 50 of these. The other one is single leg deadlift, which is really good for like glute activation and balance. You'd be going for 10 of these per side if that's what you're doing for the set. And then the last one, it looks kind of dumb, but it's made a huge difference in helping my lordosis and back pain. And that is just getting on the side, kind of like thrusting your hips forward and then lifting your heel this way. And you want to feel the burn in your butt. If you're doing it right and you have weak glutes, right around like the 20 mark, it's gonna start burning pretty bad. You wanna do 50 of those each side, if that's what you're doing for the set. So then the last part for one complete set is some sort of stretch. Usually we have pretty tight like inner groin here and like upper back. So like an exercise like a stretch like this tends to be pretty good. And then I'm rushing through this one a bit. You want to sit minimum probably about like 30 seconds to a minute. So then that would complete an entire set. So now I would have 9 more to go. I've actually done a bunch in the morning, so I don't have too many more today. Just from experience having done this before, it's really important to not get behind on each day. In the morning, you want to hit like 2 to 3 minimum. Ideally, if you can get to 4 and get a run in or something, you'll be in good shape the rest of the day. Then, you know, if you're at work or something, you know, you take a break, do them. I know the pulling exercise, the pull type motion, is probably going to be hard. You could potentially do it on your desk if you have a pull-up bar or anything like that. So that's that. And then the advantage too, and then try to get the meditation at the end of the day. And by doing all this stuff, you're committing yourself to like this body challenge that you're not going to want to waste that energy by having sex, especially if you're committed to minimum like week straight. If you've never done hard challenges like that before, you know, hard, some people find it, that kind of thing, easy, or if you're going for the full 30, you're typically worn out enough by the end of the day. The last thing you want to do is like go look up some porn or something. And that's kind of the whole point, is because we're trying to make our mind clear and get rid of all this anxiety that modern society imbues us with. So hope you enjoyed that intro. I'll respond to any questions or anything, and good luck. Hopefully I got a couple other people going on this with me.